county and for the parks.
We don't need a motion, but a general census. I'm for paving.
So am I.
So am I.
So am I.
Thank you.
Got your answer.
I can take the message.
Thanks,
I
Doug.
appreciate
Where was
it.
at the beginning of this conversation?
Well, anyway, but
Well, I was gonna start right off with, Doug and I already had this
Yeah.
discussion, but
So I needed this discussion so that I can go on Tuesday.
thanks,
Okay,
Doug.
I appreciate
from
it.
a disability standpoint is where I see the pavement.
Okay,
You're gonna have people there handicapped, and they're not gonna have the accessibility on a gravel road.
I will say though, on that aspect, and again, I'm not citing one or the other, there's plenty of people that have gravel driveways that then have a ramp going to their house. Gravel doesn't make it inaccessible. It doesn't make it easier, yes, but it doesn't make it not handicap accessible just because it's gravel.
Bob, I could've went all day without that information.
I gotta give you both sides.
You gave us both sides, Bob, but that's private property.
All right, any other old business? If not, we'll move on to the new approve and sign annual certification for medical benefits.
Alright, where are we at?
We have to do this every year.
So basically, this is just an annual document that we've got to do to provide the medical benefits. We've marked the compliance with, I certified compliance with MCL, you know, and then basically the chair and the clerk would sign off on this and we'd send it in to the state. It's a routine that you do every year.
Yeah.
So I believe this one has to have a resolution, right?
I don't think
But
that.
it'll just have to be approved.
That's just proof.
Okay.
So, if somebody wanna make a motion.
I would move that we authorize the chair to sign this certification.
Support.
Any discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, same. Right.
An easy one. The next one is a resolution. It's a county resolution 24006, which is to approve the MDOT contract 245336, HMA crushing, shaping, and resurfacing of Camden Road from Trip Road to Pittsford Road. So, and this is where we would need a motion in the second, and then a
Roll call.
roll call or yeas and nays. And it says to allow myself as the manager to execute the contract.
I so move.
Okay,
Got two moves.
roll call.
Question first. Has that been part of our project scheme all along, and why do we have this resolution and I don't remember other resolutions?
Cause this is a MDOT,
Project.
project contract, not necessarily just one that we're doing. So that we got federal funds to do this, and so that's one of the,
But that was on our list of
yeah,
projects for
this
this
has
year.
always been,
Right.
one of them, and I believe this is the one that I think you had questions with whether it could get done this year, or whether making them do it this year, but we extended it out to allow them to go into next year if need be to get a better cost. This is just a resolution to allow us to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was my understanding, that it may not actually get done until May, June.
Yes.
Next spring.
Yes.
Early summer.
But that was strictly to try to get a better cost. They may be able to get it in, and great if they do.
Depending on what weather is.
Yeah. Stays like this till Christmas, they can do it.
I hope so. All right, we're ready.
So we need the motion and the second.
We already
Got that.
got that.
Okay.
Roll call.
So I need yeas or nays?
You gotta call a name.
You just call
I
it.
just call your names.
Yeah.
Start with Kathy and work our way to the board
Okay.
chair.
Kathy.
Yay.
Yeah.
Gary.
Yes.
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 All right, the second one is resolution 24007, which is to approve MDOT contract 235403, which is again the center line rumble strip and recess wet parking pavements on Territorial Road, Bankers Road, and Moscow Road, which is what we talked about earlier. Again, this is just a resolution to allow me to execute the contract.
So,
Support.
Any discussion? If not, we can have roll call again.
Kathy,
Yes.
Yes.
Gary,
yes. Yes.
Yes.
thank you.
I do have one other tidbit of information. It doesn't take any action or anything. I just wanted to let you know that we got our reply back from MDOT approving the 2024 Act 51 certification book. So this is just a cover letter that goes in the certification book that basically reflects how many primary road miles we got, how many local, how many urban. But this is just the approved signed cover letter from MDOT. There we got that.
Oh, okay.
I have under new business, I have a couple
Oh,
of things that
all right.
I would like to bring up. So we finished the first go-round of the Bryan on August the 8th. So thinking about that and looking at 2025, what can we do to move that up 3 or 4 weeks?
We've got that figured out.
I got a plan for you.
Well, I know that the people in, the townships down south are interested to hear that, and next year it'll be the townships up north, because
Right.
they'll be the ones at the tail end of the dog.
Well, to help everybody out, hopefully in the future, for one, we're gonna try to hold the township meetings earlier, which should be in December, before
That'd be great.
like a Christmas break, to get some of this stuff rolling. The second thing is, we're, in the past, apparently, we've always laid, however much gravel and limestone the township wanted. We've gone out there and laid all the gravel and stuff, then brine, okay? So, we talked to a couple of the surrounding counties. They have elected to go through and immediately, as soon as weather allows us in the spring, to start grading the roads and immediately brine. Once all the first round of brine's done, we'll go back and place that gravel and limestone that the townships want, where they want it, or whether it's a solid road. We'll have to determine whether we need to go back and rebrine those spots, because a lot of them are just spots everywhere, or whether it's needed to where maybe we can get townships to then do more second brine, because then you already have the brine there and be able to cover everything up at that point. But if we go through, grade everything, brine it, then start our gravel, that'll speed it up immensely.
And we discussed another thing that, in swamp loaders, if we got a flatbed, we can pull them on, and a fiberglass tank and a bar. We've got, 20,000 gallon out here?
We can
Tank
go off of
for
this
brine.
back tank.
We could brine it ourselves, the gravel that we put down, and not even have to mess with the timing.
Just have-
Well, we would do the contract for
The
this.
first
Oh,
round.
yeah.
For that spot, like to
Yeah.
go back and hit, if we had our own gravity feed tank, is all it would take, you could go back and retreat those spots that you've got fresh gravel on, but.
Well, that certainly sounds like, a better plan than trying to continue to knock our head against the tree and end up late.
I agree.
And I think that'd be a lot better. I just happened to be going into Branch County and Jay was out there, the manager, and we get along really well, so I stopped and I said, hey, this was earlier this spring, I said, how do you get your brine done? And he said, why? I said, well, time we get our limestone or gravel down, I said, we're pretty late. He said, we don't do that. So we go out immediately and start scraping up the roads nice and we brine. Then we come back and put gravel on if townships want gravel.
Which I don't know how many gravel roads they have, and I don't know how many townships actually put gravel or limestone
Right.
on the roads. Here, every township does something.
Yeah.
Every township puts gravel or limestone on, so
That
100% of your
yeah.
gravel roads are getting something added every year.
Mhm.
They may not, I don't know.
I don't know, I didn't ask him that part, but he said he'd go back later and do that.
Then a second question I have, and this deals with blacktop roads, primary blacktop roads. South Hillsdale Road from Camden Road south to the state line is, you know, with the detour for the bridges on Territorial, South Hillsdale Road is taking quite a beating. And of course Camden Road from M99 all the way west is in bad need of attention. But South Hillsdale Road, you know, gets a lot of traffic, and I would hope we can look at doing something on that next year. Cause it's
So we can't, I mean,
It-
we'll have
it's
to
pretty
figure
noticeable.
it in the budget, but yes.
Yeah, it's pretty noticeable if you drive that road, you know, how much it's gone backwards with all of the extra traffic on it this year.
I thought the state was supposed to restore it if there was a lot of deterioration
There are
because of the,
bridges.
If you can,
because of the detour.
if you can show them or prove to them that that detour cost and it wasn't already there.
It's off the M49.
Now, the Camden Road, there's absolutely no way that can, can be considered anything. South Hillsdale possibly. And I've worked pretty good with Kelsey, or Kelby at the MDOT region, so we can see what we can do, but there's a lot of those roads are like that. Now, some detours might cause issues, but not all of them.
That's it.
Public comment. Alan?
Alan Andrews, Reading Township. Speaking of brining, this year we had a very unique situation in Reading Township. You guys scraped our road, brined our road, and then we got over 2 inches of rain, all within 12 hours.
Oh.
Okay, majority of the roads, the brining, not too bad. I'm gonna tell you, all summer, we've been dealing with dust on my road, terrible. Is there something that can be done when we have this situation? I don't, you know, I don't think it's something you can kind of foresee, but it was bad.
Yours is all limestone too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's worse yet.
There's a couple of issues that could be done. Part of it's gonna be like if the board agrees to pay for a second brine and something like that. It could be a different cost share. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to look at that, but
If we do it ourselves, out of our tank, and
I'd love to have our own.
do it our own, that'd be the cheapest way to do it.
well, depending on how many miles, if you're talking a road here or there, a couple miles here or there,
No big deal.
I don't think it was that
if
big
you're,
of a
if
deal.
you're trying to do an entire
The
township,
lake area,
Just around the lake area, we got almost 2
those
inches.
small
and it
roads were
just
all
as soon as
done.
they did it.
But anyhow, that was a very unique situation.
there's a lot of options. Yes, we got a lot of rain quick,
Yes.
and there's a lot of options that we can do.
Luckily, you only did half of the township.
I think they came back and resprayed some of those anyway. But yes, sometimes it's something you need. We can call Corbin and say, hey, can you go back and respray them? Sometimes they'll do them. Yeah, we'll just go redo it. Sometimes it depends on how much we're talking about.
Just something to think about. The next thing I have, a couple meetings ago, I started to bring up about an article in the MTA magazine, and I didn't realize you guys don't all get the MTA magazine, so I stopped. And the reason I bring this up because a couple of our board members, the MTA magazine is very good. It's got good articles in it. It's got a lot of good comments. You guys are gonna be meeting with the townships here real soon, and the article that two of our board members brought up has to do with the road commission and stuff. So I just wanna share these, there's 6 copies here. If you could take one and just pass it around, and it's just something for you to read. I'm sure you guys get bored at night. Cause I'm sure that I won't be here, but I'm sure that there's gonna be some board members bring this up to you, and it's just shared information. Did I not have 6? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. You're good.
That's it?
Yes.
I have a question about this brine concept you're tossing around. Who would pay for the extra brine after you have to go over patch gravel? And how are you gonna find the guys and the manpower to do that when you're already behind?
Those are all good questions.
Thank you.
The cost would have to be probably figured into, because we gotta redo the cost share policy anyways, again, and so that would have to get kind of figured into that, you know, and really it's what the board would elect to do and what we can afford to do.
Right.
With the funding, but also the manpower. But it's had to really take one guy, other than have to re-scrape, you know, so spreading that gravel and stuff, one guy to go back around and brine would be horrible for staffing wise, but.
You'd have to have a semi to do that.
No, you can get a tank we can even get a tank that would go in the back of a 10 max
Yeah.
dump, or even like Bob was saying, the swap loader attachment that you just pull on a tank that already has everything.
We had a 1,500 gallon tank down the engine that I ran.
And so right now we spray 3,000 gallons a mile. You'd probably have a 2,000 gallon tank. So you could easily do it where they could spray one direction, come back, fill up, spray the other direction. Knock out a mile fairly reasonably. That's all, just identifying how we want to do it.
I think everybody'd be happy if we got the brine on quicker.
I guarantee you I'd be happy. I'd be happier.
I always would.
So I think it's a good plan or option to work on to do that. It's just a matter of how do we address the material that you put on after the brine.
Yeah. In those spots.
Because really, when it comes down to it, the brine's like what, 12.5 cents a gallon. Not. And it comes out to $600 some dollars, not quite $700 a mile to spray it like that. So it's not horrible, but.
And you're not gonna be doing a lot of miles. It's just gonna be where we.
Yeah, a lot of those are spots. Like
Yeah.
we might put one dump truck load here and a dump truck load there, so that truck could go and hit multiple spots, you know, on the same load. But
Or if
if
a township had a mile or two that they wanted to,
yes,
you know, apply a bunch of limestone on.
and some do. Some take
Yeah.
that 1,500 ton or whatever, and they say I want it all on this road. Well, then you hit that road, but you don't have to hit all the other roads either.
They might have 30 or 40 miles of gravel roads in the township, but if they only wanna do that on a mile or two, wouldn't be
It's doable. We just have to identify it and make sure everybody knows that's the rules. But that's what we're going to go by there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to try something different.
I agree.
So hopefully we have an answer before the township meetings, so we can tell them what we're actually gonna do. Anybody else? Nothing done? I can't believe we answered everybody's question.
For today.
If there's nothing else,